Let's get started. What I'd like to do is to introduce you to your voice today, the way that I see it. I don't have hang-ups about your voice. I don't have a long relationship with your voice and how it has served you emotionally, but I do understand how it functions. And to me, it functions much more beautifully and simply than you know. And so if I could help you see it the way that I view it, we can start building a new relationship for you and your voice. Your voice is inside the larynx, right here in your throat. I'm going to call that little organ something of a creature that lives here inside of you. It doesn't speak to you directly. You don't get to control it directly. It functions on a different neurosystem in your body than your hand does, for instance. And it does so many beautiful things for you all day, every day, keeping you alive by letting you breathe, keeping you alive by allowing you to drink water and to eat food, and keeping you alive by not allowing those two to clash. Those two goals can't clash, or else we choke and we prevent ourselves from breathing and we die. Beyond those basic important jobs, it does a lot of communicating. It will call for help. It will summon friends when you are joyful and you'd like to celebrate. It will allow you to cry and express emotions that are deeply inside of you. So complicated and intricate and beautiful, and none of it directly controllable by you. What a mystery. So we're going to use it today in a warm-up to help you find some basic ideas about how it functions. One of the basic rules for this engagement is that you accept the idea that you should do less than you think in terms of effort, physical effort, and that you should let go of your ideas of what a successful sound is or what your successful engagement with the project is. In my opinion, if you can engage your muscles in your throat to do the thing that I'm asking for, or a version of the thing I'm asking for, and you do that with less tension than you normally do, we are on the road to success. And I will tell you, if you're here in front of me, I will say, great job. And you might think to yourself, I really hated that sound. Why did she say great job? I would say great job, most likely because I understood that you did something different with your body than is normal. And to me, that is progress towards our goals. So please open your mind to those two goals, and let's get started. First, let's think about this little creature in your throat. I would like you to think of it as having three parts. The main part here in the middle is in the larynx, and it's where we vibrate our body against air to create a buzzing sound. So you can picture a piece of grass between your thumb and fingers. I don't actually know how to do it, but for those of you who do, and you vibrate that piece of grass, you can picture someone's lips in a trumpet mouthpiece. You can picture a reed in a clarinet or a saxophone that we blow on and it moves under that pressure. This is what's happening in your throat. There are two flaps of skin inside your larynx that come together, and they do this because they're constantly getting out of the way and then coming back together across the stream of air that's coming up from your lungs. And that vibration makes sound. So we have the vibrator here in the middle of your larynx, the air source from your body, which is controlled by your diaphragm and your abdominal muscles. And then we have above the larynx, the instrument itself, if you will, the bell of the trumpet, the resonating cavity. On a violin, that would be the hollow body. On a guitar, that would be the hollow body of the instrument. For wind instruments, it's something past the vibrator. So if we have a reed right here, everything after that is the resonating cavity. On the voice, it's everything above the larynx. Okay? So let's take a deep breath And let's notice that the air can come in through our mouth and go into our lungs, and that we don't have to do any work here. We're going to breathe out all the air in our lungs, and when I've said go ahead, you're going to allow the air to fall in a way that wasn't you pulling air in, but was only a reaction to you having been empty of air. It looks like this. Getting rid of all my air. And then allowing a response to being empty of air, allowing myself to recover and rebound from being empty of air. So we'll call this a rebound breath. Let's do one together. Exhale all your air. Wait for a second. And let it come in. One more time. Very good. Notice the next time we do it, how nothing is being done by you with your mouth or with your throat to pull in any air. What's happening is your body is causing the air to fall in by creating room. Can you notice what your belly and your diaphragm inside the belly are doing to get that air in? One more. Contracting the abdominal wall. Letting the abdominal wall go. As you do it this next time, I want you to understand that also the diaphragm is contracting when you inhale. And you're letting go of the abdominal wall, the diaphragm is contracting down, and so all of a sudden there's lots of room inside your respiratory cavity and air falls in. Let's do two more and see if you can contemplate those concepts. Feel how passive everything here is in this process. Very good. This time we're going to do a box breath. 4 counts in, 4 counts holding, 4 counts exhaling, and 4 counts holding, and then repeat. And we'll do that for a minute. Here we go. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Notice how everything can stay easy. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Let go of muscles in your neck. And in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Last one. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. If you did that and you found yourself getting tight, in future repetitions, you will ask yourself to find those muscles, notice them is what that means. To find them is simply to say, oh look, these guys right here are really tense, or across here is really tense. I'm going to ask them to release while I continue doing this box breath. You will get better at that over time. Good. So this time we're going to take a breath, low breath. See if you can keep close to this idea of a rebound breath that we talked about. And instead of exhaling on nothing, we're going to sigh like this. Ah. Just like it's super hot and someone told you your workday is over and you get a big glass of iced tea. That's how good you feel. Let's hear that in your sigh. Nice low breath. Ah. Good. One more time. Notice that you've made a vocal sound. Nothing was working up here, nothing in your tongue or jaw, nothing in your shoulders or your neck, and yet your body created ah, which is singing. Let's try it together. In, ah. And that's singing because your folds came together and vibrated on that air that you were sending up through your throat. We won't think of that as singing because we weren't being critical of that sound. We were simply reacting emotionally to the day. And in that case, we don't criticize the sound. If I'd said, everybody now is going to get up on stage and perform their best sigh, you will have probably a very different response to how to produce that, because you'd have some idea that there was a perfect sigh that needed to be embodied. It doesn't need to be embodied perfectly because it's just you in a relaxed state. So there's no perfection, it's just relaxation. Good. So we're going to try and bring that feeling to our singing. Let's do it one more time. Ah. Great. So that feeling here in your throat of a little bit of vibration was those tiny little muscles in your larynx doing the vibrating. Now on that exhale, let's do an S sound. So no sigh, no voice, just good. So we moved this point of friction in the larynx to the tip of our tongue and the top teeth on the back of them, creating a friction point for the air to pass and make noise in. Let's do that one more time. Notice how behind your S, everything is nice and open, including down in your throat. Good. One more time. Nice. Now this time, we'll combine the two and we'll say sa. So we started with an S friction in the point in the front, and we transitioned to a friction point in the larynx with an ah. Ready? Sa. Make sure you're still relaxed and just thinking of it as noise or a sigh and you're not judging. Ready? One more time. Non-judgmentally. Sa. Very good. So in your octave, if you're a gentleman, you're probably singing down here. And if you're a woman, you're likely singing up here. If you're different, that's okay too. And we're going to go sa. Low breath. Sa. Sa. Picture the sound. Sa. 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 Remember to be non-judgmental and simply express an emotion. Relaxation, end of a work day. Phew. And sa. Sa. Do you find any muscles tensing up? Ask them to stop. Sa. 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 Nice low breath. Sa. going to listen to my voice and decide what that timbre is. Is it heavy? Is it light? Is it in between? And try and match that. Listening once. Sa. Together. Sa. Very good job. If you stayed relaxed, if you stayed non-judgmental, then very good job. I kept us in the easy range. I wouldn't think of most of what I did as pushing too many of us into parts of our voices that we think of as difficult. If they were difficult for you, that's fine. Please give yourself the permission to not participate if things get too difficult. You start now bringing to your own level of judgment, not was it pretty, but was that easy? And if it wasn't easy, then there needs to be a question about why it wasn't easy, and maybe contemplating some things, only watching for a little bit, trying to understand what you hear when I'm demonstrating. Then join in after that, or when it gets easier again.